You know who I am?
Anything you say. Anything you say.
It's official.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, all I saw in the news was, the polls thing. You have to ignore the polls because, mainstream media will lie and tell you that, oh, they're right on par, neck and neck. No, if you go and find the actual polls, Trump is leading like a huge gap between him and Kamala. I mean, it's no wonder. I mean, they've resorted to pulling out Obama to tell black men they need to go vote for Kamala or they're a disgrace, What the fuck, man? They're always pulling the racist race card and shit. It's just fucking ignorant. Tells you how desperate they are. They know they're gonna lose. Anyways, I want to talk to you or get on with what I want to really talk to you about. So, last week I told you about, Mortal Kombat Deception. This week I'm going to talk to you about Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which is the next one in the series. Like I said, I've only played up to 9 because they got stupid by changing the timeline and all that crap. The story got lame. But, and that's the way they all do it. Hollywood or whatever, when they're telling a story and they want to change everything, it's an alternate timeline, alternate universe, that kind of bullshit. It's dumb. It's retarded. But, this one I remember had a Konquest mode as well. So I went ahead and got it and played it to refresh my memory. Like I say, I always when I watch movies or television shows, or, I play certain video games, especially retro video games, I always, watch them again or play them again to refresh my memory. Because I don't take notes, on every single detail. I don't fucking do it. I'm not reading off a script. It's just from memory. That's why I watch everything that I do a review on. Or, I'll watch the entire series of a TV show. That kind of thing, even if I haven't seen the TV show before. Like, I'm working on a couple of them I've never seen before right now. But it's taken me a while because they're older shows from like the 60s and 70s. But anyways, Armageddon. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Now, again, I like the fact that it had a Konquest mode. The problem with this, though, it's a story type mode like Prince of Persia or, the first God of War, where, you basically are not free world. Like in the last game, you could go all over the place in the realms. In this one, you can't. You have to stick to, you know, a linear path. You can't go off the path. You have to stick with it. That kind of sucked. I didn't like that. The story was okay, I guess, but I really didn't care for the story either. I also didn't like the whole you know, Streets of Rage or Double Dragon fighting in this. Like, you had to fight a bunch of guys all at once. I didn't really care for that. To me, that's not Mortal Kombat shit. That's something completely different. But yeah, I didn't, you know, some of that I didn't care for. This one, I think you only had one set of coins, which was gold coins. So you didn't get to go around looking for hidden coins or anything like that. I didn't like that either. They had some traps in this that will kill you if you're not careful. Like, you have to do timing shit. You know, like they had blocks that would come down from the ceiling or something. You had to, I don't like shit like that. It's kind of lame. Everyone's done it. I mean, it was okay for what it was. You know, the Konquest in this was okay, but it was kind of boring. And it was just done way differently. And I didn't like I said, I didn't like the fact that it was linear. You couldn't go everywhere. You just had to follow a path. I'm not a big fan of that. There's some games that are okay like that, like God of War, but most generally, I'm not a big fan of them type of games. I prefer free reign, to be able to go wherever you want, look for hidden items, that kind of shit. I like that kind of stuff. But this, there was no quest. Like, you couldn't talk to people and get quests. You just had to do what... And they had some kind of totem pose. You touch these totem pose, and it'd send you into a different time and space where his mother or father would teach him new skills. And honestly, all it was, as you know, 5 or 6 challenges. Like, you got to beat so many guys in like 30 seconds or some shit like that. Luckily, you don't have to complete these challenges to complete the Konquest mode or the story mode. Because there was a couple of them that I was just like, I was just like, nah, I'd spend a good while on one particular one. I can't remember what it was, but you had to beat so many guys, like, with one type of power or some shit. And it was just like, they didn't give you the guys fast enough to kill. Like, I'd wipe them out, but then you'd be waiting for like a few seconds before the next set of guys would show up for you to kill. So the timing was off, and it would never work out for me. So I was just like, screw it. So there was like one totem I didn't complete all the challenges in. Now, you had the basic fighting towers and all that BS, but I didn't do any of that. I only played the Konquest. You know, the whole fighting in the towers is just normal shit. Anyways, this game, it was okay, but I prefer Deception Conquest mode. So I give this one a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It was alright. It's worth a one-time play, I guess. Check it out if you want. Let's move on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, movieaholics, this month is Horror Month. And we are continuing our series of Leprechaun movies. Doing the Leprechaun franchise. Now the next one in the franchise is called Leprechaun Origins. It was done in 2014. It was produced by WWE. And it starred Andrew Dunbar and Stephanie Bennett. This one literally has nothing to do with the Leprechaun series whatsoever. It's like a completely different story. And whoever directed this or whatever went full on horror with it instead of the horror comedy. There is no Warwick Davis. Basically, it's like a creature feature. The Leprechaun, they hardly ever show the Leprechaun. You get flashes of him every now and then. But he looks like this really mutated elf or some shit. I mean, he had the pointed ears, but black eyes, grotesque mouth. You know, his body was all distorted and shit. You know, like I say, it was like a gross mutated creature. It didn't even look like a leprechaun. It didn't wear the clothes or anything. It was just this dark gray fucking figure. It was weird. But yeah, you have this group of college students who want to check out some of Ireland's old historic places or whatever. They find one in a brochure, some village out in the middle of nowhere that's surrounded by these weird stone megaliths. So yeah, they come across these dark stone megaliths that have like Celtic symbols all over them and shit. They don't know what they mean. The villagers don't know what they mean either. They end up meeting a couple of villagers in the tavern that they go to right at the very beginning. And this guy, he offers them a place to stay overnight to go into the hills where some of these more of these stones are at near a mine, and you know, they could check them out, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, it's not in the brochure, but yeah, that sounds pretty cool, let's check it out. Because he's talking about like there's some ancient ruins up there and blah blah blah. So he takes him to this house out in the middle of fucking nowhere with his son, and they drop him off. There's no electricity and shit. And then they supposedly drive off and leave him be. Well, that's when the Leprechaun shows up.
You know who I am.
And tries to kill them all. Now, apparently it does have a fascination with gold, because there's a couple items, that gold jewelry that they have on them that the Leprechaun kind of steals. Other than that, that's about it. The Leprechaun starts killing them one by one, and they're all listening to this girl who has no idea what the fuck she's doing. She's getting them killed. Every time she says, let's do this, let's do that, here's my plan, do this, do that, they end up dying. They get killed. She's killing them. She's getting them killed. And they're all listening to her like she's the boss, you know, but she has no idea what she's talking about, what she's doing. But we also got to give her a weapon and make her look like a boss bitch, because she's not scared of this Leprechaun. She's going to kill it. She flat out says, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Everybody else is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyways, so they get out of the house that they're in, which was locked. The Irish guys, they locked the place up. But they get out, and they go over to this other house that has like these fog lights surrounding it and shit. And they turn them on, and apparently it hurts the Leprechaun for some weird reason, this light. But the Leprechaun gets around that and basically starts killing them. The Irish boys show back up, find out that fucking they've switched houses and somehow got out of the other house. And apparently you find out they had to deal with the Leprechaun or whatever. So they wouldn't, so the Leprechaun would leave the village alone. Anyways, it kills a couple of the Irish boys. And then she gets out. She escapes. And then she runs. She somehow, just out of the blue, if you get past the fucking megalith at the very beginning of the movie that they run across, the Leprechaun won't follow you. You know, it'll stay in its territory. Okay, whatever. So that's what she does. But at the very end, you see like not just one Leprechaun, but there's a ton of them that are like chasing her down. And that's the end of the movie. This movie sucked. It was terrible. I don't know why they went full on horror with this. Why the Leprechauns all mutated. They didn't explain any of really the background of the Leprechaun, except for that they were an ancient old race or some shit. That's it. So, 2 thumbs down. You can watch it if you want, but it has nothing to do with the Leprechaun movie. You can just skip it. Alright, then moving on to the next one. Leprechaun Returns. And as far as I know, so far this is the last or latest they've done. Supposedly there's another one in the works. But this one was done in 2018. And it was done in collaboration with Lionsgate and the Sci-Fi channel. It starred Ben McGregor and Taylor Fritter. But and she looks nothing like fucking Jennifer Aniston. Not even close. But she's supposed to be her daughter. They do bring Ozzy back from the first film, which was okay. That was kind of cool. Apparently, the Leprechaun's been down that well for 25 years. So this is the only direct sequel to the original film. All the other films have been offshoots, kind of. They've done their own little story. This one is the only direct sequel to the original film. Now, why he waited 25 years to come back makes no sense. It doesn't explain it. Other than the fact that he'll come back when he feels like coming back. Is basically, he says something like that in the film somewhere. I can't remember exact words. But he says something to, if there's still part of the Leprechaun left, he can re-manifest himself. He reforms in Ozzy's stomach because if you remember, Ozzy had swallowed one of the gold pieces. And I'm like, he would have shit that out by now. It's 25 fucking years. It hasn't been stuck in his stomach for 25 fucking years. That is dumb. But that's how he manifests. He kills Ozzy coming out of his stomach and grabbing the gold shilling. I was like, okay, whatever. The story is, you have some sorority girls building up the old farmhouse from the original movie. They're kind of reinventing it for their little sorority, whatever. Which isn't too far from the university that's in town. The girls in this, they all get killed one by one by the Leprechaun, but 2 of them. There's a couple guys in this that gets killed too, and Ozzy gets killed. But the Leprechaun, he just basically wants his gold. He doesn't know where it's at. For whatever reason in this one, he can't sniff it or tell where it's at. He's trying to get the girls to tell him where it's at. Towards the end, they blow up the house with the Leprechaun in it. The gold's pretty much gone, except for a few pieces. The Leprechaun, which the girls take off with the last of it. This black girl and, you know, the main girl, they take off with what's left of the gold. But the Leprechaun is able to reform again. And at the very end of the movie, you see him go after the girls. And that's the end of the movie. The guy who plays the Leprechaun, even though it's not Warwick Davis, I don't know why they couldn't get Warwick Davis. Yeah, he's old, but he still could have played the part. He didn't have to do anything major or spectacular. But the guy who played the Leprechaun, he actually didn't do half a bad job as the Leprechaun. Like, I didn't hate him. He was alright. He did pretty decent to the character. I didn't like the huge beard though. Like, Warwick Davis didn't have like this giant beard, red beard, like they put on this one. They didn't need to put that big of a beard on him. Anyways, he didn't do too bad. He was alright. Didn't mind him. Like I said, the gold coin in the stomach for 25 years was a little bit stupid. They made these girls like they're super smart, except for the drunk chick. There's one chick in there that was drunker than dog shit. They made the black girl like she's the whore instead of the drunk chick. I thought it would have been the drunk chick, because the drunk chick's the one who invited the guys. But the thing is one of the guys was into the black girl, and they were screwing. The other guy liked the main girl, but he never got around to her. But they made the guys like they're dumber than a box of rocks, like dumb jocks. Maybe even further than that, like they were dumb. And the girls were super intelligent, super smart, knew what all they were doing, blah, blah, blah. It was redonkulous. That's the feminist bullshit right there. But anyways, yeah, all the girls were the badasses, and the boys were like, oh, what do we do? I was just dumb. But anyways, this movie was okay. Like I said, the guy who played the Leprechaun, he actually did pretty decent as the Leprechaun. They could have done away with the smart girl feminist bullshit, though. They should have been more realistic and made them all girly. But anyways, it's okay. It's, you know, probably a one-time watch. Like I said, they're supposed to make another movie. We'll see. I give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Wasn't bad. Check it out if you want. But yeah, definitely skip Leprechaun Origins. 2 thumbs down. It was god awful. Has nothing to do with the rest of the series. Alright. That's all I have for you this week. If you have any comments about or thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your comments down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you think of any B-rated or movies that you think I've never even seen, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you be told the truth, and you've just been told.